we had three fun games today. The New Orleans gave a fight to the Suns, but unfortunately the Suns were tough, and that was probably the least interesting of the games because the other two games were fun. Trae Young sucked, but the Atlanta Hawks put up a fight, went down till the last minute. Unfortunately knocked out. We'll not see the Hawks again until next season. Miami progressed to the next round, and I think the most fun game of the day for me was the Minnesota Memphis. Not in terms of quality of basketball because it was pretty poor quality, low IQ basketball. But in terms of end, it was like an all-star game. Exactly, there were people were just running from corner to corner and basket to basket, trying to dunk, shoot 3-pointers at will, and missing all of them. It's not even that like an all-star game. It was like that rookies game that happens before the all-star game, and where they want to put on a show, but it's not really a show. It was like that. I don't know. Minnesota screwing up yet another lead. Second time the series. I don't see a way back for them after this. But we'll talk about all about that. We'll also talk about Brooklyn Nets, who have already reached Cancun, I guess, by now. Lots to talk about. So let's get started. Let's start off with Brooklyn Nets because they got eliminated yesterday against the Boston Celtics. Both of us predicted Boston Celtics. Both of us did not predict a sweep.
Yeah, absolutely.
A team that has Kevin Durant should not get swept. A team that has Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving should not even lose in 5. But the Boston Celtics did not really care for their reputation much. They just swept them. And Kevin Durant finally put on a fight yesterday, but too little, too late, and not good enough also. Jason Tatum has been incredible this season.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the Brooklyn Nets here. I mean, we'll have lots of opportunities to talk about the Celtics because they progress, but the Nets are over for the season. Now it's 2 full seasons that since KD and Kyrie have moved to Brooklyn, and what do they have to show for it? 1 second round appearance where they lost to the Milwaukee Bucks. Well, okay, can't complain much, and a first round sweep. The bubble season where they didn't play, they went to the first round and they lost. In fact, they won a game. Where do the Brooklyn Nets go from here? Because they have a lot of off-season questions looming. Kyrie is a free agent, or he has an option. Will they renew his contract? Can you trust Kyrie?
It's his option, right? It's the player option, the 1 year thing. Yes. Yeah, I think he's made it clear he wants to renew it. In fact, he said not only does he not want to go anywhere, he sees himself and KD managing the team next year along with the front office, is what he said. Management after this shit show. I thought only Boston were capable of this nonsense, but here come the Brooklyn Nets.
I don't know what to make of this whole scene here. I mean, well, you got rid of James Harden, and I know there'll be a group of people who say that this is what you deserve for shipping out James Harden. Well, James Harden was terrible. Let's put it that way. He did not want to play. So I don't think that trade was wrong. Ben Simmons not playing was unfortunate. We don't know the details of that. Obviously, what we know on the surface is that he's injured still. He has physical and mental issues apparently, and he cannot play. He didn't turn up. Seth Curry was 60% fit. He seemed injured. He was not fit to play. Andre Drummond, well, lesser spoken, the better. I don't know where do the Brooklyn Nets go from here. They don't have too many picks either. They don't have stars even. First of all, let me ask you. I mean, this putting together of stars together, right? You saw the Clippers do this, sacrifice their entire future, didn't work. You saw the Brooklyn Nets do this, didn't work so far. You saw the Milwaukee Bucks kind of put, not at this level superstars, but including Jrue Holiday, was kind of, they sacrificed a lot of picks for him. It worked for them. It worked for the Lakers to an extent, but I don't know if you'll call it a working thing.
It's a chip in 3 years. It worked. It's a chip. I mean,
is that sufficient? I mean, how many years now you'll go without a chip? Because
a chip in 3 years, huh? Nah, I'm sure they'll flip. They've got talent. They've got enough talent to flip for picks or players in the future. So
the reason I ask you this is this I mean, are we going to see a lot more teams go out and put super teams? Because it's not really a guaranteed success formula, right?
Yeah.
So do you see this reducing? Do you see teams still going out for it if there's an opportunity?
No, I don't see it reducing. I think this is, you see it in sport, you see it once, you'll keep seeing it. Real Madrid did it once and then everyone wants to do it. Basketball, LeBron did it once and now everyone wants to do it. And by the way, super teams are nothing new. They're just being called that ever since LeBron decided to take his talents to South Beach. The Lakers had a super team when they had Magic, Kareem and James Worthy on one squad. Was it the Rockets? Yeah, it was the Rockets who
Well, that
assembled a
was
sort
still
of...
like they didn't really have to sacrifice a lot of picks or trade future.
Yeah, because they got
putting
them in
together.
free agency. But that's not it. The sacrifice of picks or not is that's the logistics of how you put together a super team. But the question is, are super teams worth putting together? Because if the answer is yes, then the sacrifice is worth it, right? But the answer is there are so many moving parts that you simply can't just attribute it to 2 or 3 of the best players on the planet and it'll just automatically work. I've been saying from day one, the Brooklyn Nets will not work. It just won't happen. With that much talent on the field, nobody to defend, has-beens outside the top 3. It's not going to happen. It'll just there are too many ifs that need to fall into place for this to work. It's a concept car at best. So you need egos to click together. You need ball distribution to happen smoothly. You need a coach that can tie all these egos and bring one philosophy. The Nets had no philosophy whatsoever. It was ISO basketball. It was just 2 of the best attackers on the planet. Can they get us home? And that's about it. And the rest is just cross your fingers and pray for the best. It doesn't work. You need a competent coach. You need players that are willing to sacrifice. And you need everyone to put their hands up and say, for this to work, this guy's got to be the best player on the court. I don't know if everyone on the Nets team said KD has to be the best player on the court. I don't know if Kyrie said it. Forget the rest. I don't know if Kyrie said it. I don't know if KD said Kyrie has to be the best player. As long as that dilemma exists, it's not going to work. I mean, it happened in Miami, right? Everyone told LeBron he has to be the best player. And in Golden State, they were accommodating enough to teach KD how to defend, but also accept that he's going to take the big shots. Like he's going to lead us to the promised land. Doesn't always happen. So these sort of dream team scenarios, it's a lot of ifs and buts, but it will continue to happen. The temptation is real. If you could put Luka and Embiid together, you would do it, regardless of whether it actually makes practical sense or not. I think it's just going to keep happening. There's a lot of brand play involved also. So there's a lot of money on the line when you put these teams together.
I agree. I think you take that gamble. I mean, even if it means sacrificing next 3, 4, 5 years of picks, I think if you have an opportunity to win a chip, you'll do it. Especially teams that have not won the chip in a long, long time, right? I don't think Brooklyn Nets have ever won the chip. So I think if they had to do it again, do you think they would do it? I think they would.
Yeah, no, for sure they would. Maybe they'd have lessons to learn on picking personnel, on how much. First of all, by the way, can I just say, the New York Knicks have been lambasted for being such a poorly run organization and being a shit show. I don't see the Brooklyn Nets being very different. The personnel and their abilities on the court have kind of glossed over their inefficiencies in the front office, but they've had debacle after debacle of mismanagement. They brought in Kyrie because KD insisted, because that was the only way to get KD. Okay, fair enough. Although you know the kind of complications you get with Kyrie, as amazing as he is on the court, when he shows up on the court. They did that. Then they got in James Harden, because for some reason, the initial premise was these 2 guys would be enough. Somewhere down the line, they decided, no, we need yet another superstar, $45 million on the contract, 50, to make this work. So they brought in James Harden and gave up whatever they had left, which was a decent amount of young talent. They gave up all of that. Had they kept that, they would have probably still been within a shot. Jared Allen, Dinwiddie, come on. Now they gave all that up. They got in James Harden. All of this was basically the players calling the shots, the front office doing absolutely nothing. If Pelinka's head is on the block for what happened with the Lakers with Westbrook, I don't see how Brooklyn Nets front office goes unscathed. That is one. Then there was a whole shit show with James Harden throwing tantrums and sissy fits. With Kyrie, where they took the embarrassing stance of, this is not the kind of team we want to run. Kyrie will not be a part of our away games if he's not going to be there in the home games. And then flip-flopped on it like 3 months down the line. Let Kyrie play as and when he chose to play, when he felt like it, when his mood was sunny and bright. And they made a shit show there. And then with Ben Simmons, they made that move. I'd have made that move for sure. They got in Ben Simmons. Now look at how much Ben Simmons is getting criticized for backing out, which, by the way, is largely, I know Ben Simmons, whatever he said is disappointing, but it is largely the entire NBA universe foolishly telling themselves that this is the greatest offense ever assembled. Till the last day, before the playoffs started, these guys were almost red hot favorites to win it all. It was a joke. It was laughable at that point. The odds, right? And all of that is coming out in the form of Ben Simmons' vitriol. Seriously, Ben Simmons would have played in Game 4. What the fuck you think would have happened?
He has not played basketball in like a year since he
like
missed
what would
that
have
open
happened?
dunk.
Like exactly what would have happened? Exactly. But nobody defends on that team. Ben Simmons alone is going to stop the entire Celtics. Like what the hell? That was misplaced anger at best. So they got in Ben Simmons. And this whole shit show now of Ben Simmons being unprofessional, man up, it's just uncomfortable. The level of vitriol being spewed against him. However disappointing his decision may be, it should have never come to this stage. Why would the front office leak internal matters, hinting in every possible way that Ben Simmons is fit to play, kind of doing the anti-Pelicans in that sense?
Yes.
Only for Ben Simmons to come in and say, hey, hold on, I don't know where the hell this is coming from, but I'm not playing Game 4.
Yeah.
And openly saying, I have physical and mental issues, probably the latter causing the former. You've exposed yourself to basically a barrage of shit posting now. I mean, is this mismanagement after mismanagement? Maybe there's something in the water because it's now the Knicks and the Nets, both of them suck.
Agreed. And it's also a good example of how you cannot really put together a team and expect that they'll turn up in the playoffs. It doesn't happen. You saw that with the Clippers a couple of years ago.
Absolutely.
This season, Kyrie, KD did not play together. In the playoffs, they were guessing as to who was playing. Dragic, he hardly played during the regular season. Suddenly, he's out there playing 30 minutes. Blake Griffin, I think they were final throw of the die, hoping that Blake Griffin would turn their fortunes around. He played 8 minutes. He was great in 8 minutes, put in 100% effort, but then he was gassed out after 8 minutes. He couldn't run anymore. And I don't know what the Brooklyn Nets were doing, putting Blake Griffin out there. It was embarrassing to see a former top pick in that situation. I don't think that should have happened. Lamarcus Aldrich, he had heart issues, retired, came back to play with this bunch. I'm sure he's regretting his decision now. He could have gone to a better franchise where at least he'd sit on the bench and have a chance of coming out and playing 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and at least contribute. Not happening at the Brooklyn.
Sort of been like the Miami situation with I'm blanking on his name now.
Udonis Haslem.
Haslem. Yeah. He could have been that for a franchise. But just a shit show, man.
Agreed. I don't know what to make of the Brooklyn Nets, but what do you make of the Atlanta Hawks? Last season conference finalist, we saw the rising of Trae Young, and we said that we put him almost on par with Luka Doncic, saying that, well, the swap move work for both franchises. After this season, I'm questioning myself. Did it actually work? Because is this the Trae Young? I mean, last season, what did he do? He eliminated the Knicks. Yes, great. He went to, but it was the Knicks who you saw this season how
they overachieved.
And then he was amazing against the Sixers, but then the Sixers really collapsed. They broke down. Ben Simmons refusing to throw down an open dunk, and Embiid not really turning up after 35 minutes. He was good. I don't want to take away credit from him. But then Sixers also had self-destructed to an extent, right? Trae Young was good, not denying that. But then this season, he was amazing in the regular season. But 4 games against Miami, he was totally shut out. One game, I know he got that game winner in one game, but he was bad in that game as well. He scored 9, 8, 11 in 3 of the 5 games. This is your top scorer in the regular season, top assist getter in the regular season. I don't know what to make of this whole performance.
I know what to make of this. I'm picking him again next season in fantasy basketball because he won me. He won me the entire league. Just Trae Young alone in the regular season. To call, and we all did. We were all a part of the hyperbole of elevating Trae Young to whatever stature he was at come the start of this season. It is not scientific. First of all, the league is littered with these players, and I've said this so many times, of exceptional talents. They'll be talked about as long as they're active, but once they retire, are you going to be a part of the lore? For that, you need chips, you need achievements beyond, or you need to be like AI, like you've done stuff that was never seen on the court, where even if you don't win a chip, who's been to the finals, by the way, and he's had MVPs and scoring titles. You do that stuff, okay, maybe people who watched you will know, but those who came after, the next generations won't really look back at you fondly. They barely watched your highlights. It's like James Worthy. How many people that started watching basketball after 95 really know who the hell James Worthy is? I mean, they've heard the name, they know he's a part of the whatever franchise, but it's not like they've seen highlights the way they've seen Magic's highlights, for example. So with Trae Young, much like I said with Jokic, scientifically, we can call you that sort of a phenom when you can do it in the regular season, which includes winning the MVP, but you can do it in the postseason as well. win a series on your own merit, carry a team, or be the best player on multiple series winning teams, and then okay, maybe we're talking. And depending on your level, maybe the bar for you is the finals or bust. Like for Giannis, at least go to the finals or we're not even talking. Like it doesn't even matter what else you do.
Right.
For Giannis, right? For Jokic, I'm saying that should be the bar. For any player of MVP caliber, that should be the bar. Like Embiid, if he doesn't make the finals this year, pathetic. Like the season wasn't worth it. Like that's what he should be setting for himself, which I'm sure is what his expectation is. Trae Young falls into that bucket now. Last season couldn't have been a fluke. He went to the conference finals. Whoever crumbled, whatever happened, he can only play what's in front of him, and he played it exquisitely well. He took the Bucks to Game 7, right? The Bucks won in 7. Six. Okay. Minus Giannis, but all right. He took the Bucks to Game 6. Minus Giannis in a couple of games or whatever. He did well. Come this season, choked. Now, it is scientific to call you that guy if it is demonstrable and it is repeatable. We've not had a repeat. It's just one season right now. Unless he does it again, you can kind of say, okay, he got lucky that season. But Luka's not done that yet either. So he's still a step ahead of Luka.
True. And if the Jazz manage to knock out Luka this season in this series,
I doubt it, man.
Then you start questioning, what is happening? But
I mean, Jazz are the kind of team that bottles a 3-2 lead, not that overcomes a 3-2
lead. Agreed. I mean, if Trae Young got 9 points in one game and then the rest of the games he did okay, I would still be okay.
That's okay.
Three games he's gone missing.
Three
games he's gone missing. So that kind of, has me questioning myself. I wouldn't go down that road of saying, okay, Trae Young is not this guy yet. But it's kind of surprising to see him going missing for 3 games.
No, but you can say there is a certain level of tenacity that's lacking. Like different people mature at different rates. Jason Tatum 3 years ago was a good player, but he wasn't who he is today. He didn't have this kind of leadership or this kind of resolve or this calm and collected, the calm before the storm sort of vibe to him. With Trae Young, we were counting the number of players that matched or surpassed his shot attempts in the final game, right? It is inexcusable that Hunter takes twice as many shots as you. You're the alpha on the team. It is inexcusable that Gallinari off the bench takes as many shots as you. What is not acceptable for a team's best player and perhaps one of the best players in the league is to just go cold and stop attempting shots the moment a few go missing. I look at Westbrook, he could miss 50 shots, he'll still keep shooting.
Yep.
All of the greats are like that.
Yep.
You miss a couple of, exactly. You miss a couple of shots, you miss a few. You can't, it is not the mindset of a champion or a great to think, okay, let me see how else I can contribute. This doesn't seem to be my night. Nope, not an option. Trae Young at 5'11" is not on the team for rebounds. I don't know why he had 8. Playmaking is a bonus. He is their lead scorer first and foremost. He can't not be putting up shots. He had like 6 players in the game shooting more than him. He should have led the entire match in shot volume. Like KD, he put up 39 points finally in that losing attempt. What a lot of people seem to be missing is it took him 31 shots to get to 39 points. That's KD, one of the most efficient players ever. 31 shots to get to 39. That was like Kobe, final game Kobe level volumes. Not quite. But that's what great players do. They just put shots up and hope for the best. Your team lives and dies by your greatness, not by Hunters shooting or whatever.
Agreed.
I think we lost internet, beach man.
Yes.
Yeah, we're back.
Okay, we're back.
Mine net was off.
Okay. So where do you end it?
You live and die by your greatness, not by Hunter's shooting.
So the Miami Heat have now qualified for round 2 and they will face either, I wanted to say Sixers, but now the Sixers are 3-2 up. It is not 3-0 up anymore. So either the Sixers or the Raptors. I think it's an easy route for Miami Heat to the conference final. Either of the team comes in.
Yeah. No, but if Toronto comes in, would you say that?
I would. I think the Heat's defense is too good. You did see that possession. I think it was in the previous game against Trae Young where he started off going off against PJ Tucker, got the switch. Bam Adebayo was the other guy. Got another switch on the same position and Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler, yeah. No, it's tough. It's tough for sure. But is there a part of this that Atlanta made the defense look a lot better than they are. I know they had spectacular regular season form also.
Yeah, they finished on top, right? So,
but something like either Philly or, like, for example, let's say Philly comes through. That's probably the tougher of the two, right? Toronto's relatively easier.
Toronto's also hurt because Scotty Barnes is not fully fit. Van Vliet has gone out now. Don't know when he'll be back. So it's not a fully fit team, and we knew this was coming because they don't have depth at all.
Yeah. It's just the minutes played by the starting lineup. If Philly come through, Bam's not stopping Embiid. It's not going to happen. He's amazing, but no, it's a gross size mismatch. Embiid 2 seasons ago, Bam, yes, because he's tough. He'll box you out. He'll get physical with you, like elbows in the ribs and all of that. But Embiid now has like guard moves. He has semi-mid-range fadeaways and stuff like that.
So I don't doubt Embiid's abilities. I think it's the fatigue that's catching on. He went missing in 2 games.
Maybe.
He went missing in 2 games, right? So, and then who else is the player on that team apart from Embiid?
James Harden.
Well, okay, Harden will give you 10 assists and 15, 17 points.
I'm still not, first of all, as many players as there are out in Toronto. They're back 3-2 from 3-0 down. Okay.
Yep.
And which coach has the worst closeout game performance track record ever?
It's 31 losses.
Yeah, so he's 1 game away from getting there.
Yes.
Also, he already has the most 3-1, lost from a 3-1 lead position for any coach, which is not much, but it's the most of all time.
Yep.
Nobody's ever bottled a 3-0.
Yep.
Records are made.
I know. I still think the series is open. I still think that Raptors have a chance, but that's the end of the road. I don't think either of those teams is beating Miami. I think Miami have it.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Yeah, I think they have a chance insofar as this is not even basketball analysis. This is like tarot card reading at this point. Like the vibes tell me the Raptors might win. No, but I agree. I think Philly might come through, and Miami should start as favorites in that series for sure.
Yeah. The other part of that bracket is the super interesting one, Bucks versus Celtics. Now, assuming that the Bucks finish the series tomorrow, and they should because Lavine is out as well now, and the Bulls really have no chance.
Yeah. So
Bucks versus Celtics, that is going to be a classic matchup. I think last season we got Bucks versus the Nets. You saw Giannis and KD put on a show for the ages.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be something similar this season, except that the Celtics is not a one-man army. It's not going to be one Tatum. It's going to be the whole bunch of them in defense against Giannis. And we don't know the status of Middleton yet. That's going to be tough. I hope he comes back because we want the series to go as far as 7 probably. It's going to be interesting.
Sure.
All the times that these two teams met in the regular season, all the games were close. The Celtics actually have a better record against the Bucks in recent history. And it wouldn't surprise me if they could upset would you even call it an upset anymore if they beat the Bucks?
Oh, absolutely. Are you serious? The defending champs against this team that sucked for half the season, it is an upset. Regardless of how well their recent form is, you knock out the defending champs, it's an upset. It's as simple as that.
Okay.
And it's fine. Upsets don't necessarily have to come from absolute underdogs or teams that don't deserve wins. It'll be teams that don't come with pre-existing reputation, and Celtics certainly don't come with that, right? So
I'll give you that, no problem. But it
like when the Bucks beat the Nets, it was an upset on paper. All the odds were stacked in the Nets' favor, so it was an upset. Doesn't mean the Bucks are a bad team. Just nobody expected this at the start of the season. Is all that means. And for me, this is a series of the entire playoffs. Surprisingly, the West looks weak this year. I'm looking at the entire bracket. I'm like, who do we have here? Like Memphis, Minnesota, one of them, Dallas. I mean, good that they get a series win each, but neither of them I expect to be, prohibitive favorites for the chip or just chip contenders. Let's assume somehow they stumble their way through to the finals. It's still don't. And the rest, it's Phoenix who are looking increasingly vulnerable. They're struggling to get over the Pelicans and only just scraping by.
Yeah.
And then there's the Warriors who have injury issues of their own, but let's say they overcome that. So it's the Warriors, and dare anyone upset them. That's the West.
Yep.
Everyone else is the Lakers and all in shambles, disarray. They didn't even make it to the playoffs. The other good stuff, like the Clippers are gone and all these guys. You look at the East, Miami is super strong.
Yep.
I'll come back to them. Celtics, incredible. Bucks, still the favorites for me. Defending champs, got to give them that respect until it's proven wrong.
Yep.
The East actually looks incredible. And Philadelphia, maybe Embiid's fatigued. But if you get the old Embiid back in whatever form they get James Harden, that's still a formidable team. So the East, all 4 teams are stacked so heavy. I would expect any one of them to be able to take on and give a run for their money to the best team in the West. At least compete. Right.
Agreed.
That being said, Miami for me is another Phoenix right now, like last season's Phoenix. I don't see them going all the way. I feel like we've seen this before. They will grit their way through to the finals if they can, and then do nothing with it. Because if they're playing the Warriors, I don't think they can stop them.
No, I agree. I think I don't think they're beating either the Celtics or the Bucks. Whoever comes out from that series, I think they'll beat Miami
for sure.
Okay, I think we're.
I hope it's the Bucks. If it's Miami, I hope it's the Bucks. Because Boston against Miami will be one of the greatest, most boring series you will ever see. It's going to be TNA. It's not really going to be a lot of basketball. I'd much rather see what renewed schemes the Heat come with to stop Giannis this time around, because the old one doesn't work anymore. So it'll be an interesting challenge. What can they come up with this time?
Agreed. But I'm looking forward to the Celtics versus Bucks. I think that's going the distance, and it wouldn't surprise me if the Boston Celtics won that series. It's going to be tough. I'm supporting the Bucks, but it wouldn't surprise me is what I'm trying to say. Well, that's all on today's episode. Just the 2 games tomorrow. I think the Bucks have an opportunity to finish the series against the Bulls, and the Warriors. The Warriors have an opportunity to finish their series against the Nuggets. If the Nuggets are winning tomorrow, well, then the Warriors travel to Denver. And traveling to Denver is never easy given the altitude and all that. It's the same situation. I don't think it's going
it's one game. They just need to get one game.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Warriors had a bad game and they still came up till the last position in the previous.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I see the series ending tomorrow.
I think Jokic got them to 1 win. Like that MVP gets you a win at least in the series thing. He got that. That's about as much as he can do with that squad against the Warriors. And just let it go.
Yeah, you can't expect Bones Island coming off and scoring 17 points again. Monte Morris scoring 5 threes in a quarter. Not happening again. All right, then. I'll come back and catch up with you as soon as possible. Have fun watching these games tomorrow, and we'll see you later in the week.
Peace. See ya.
Bye.